This is a lower body endurance training session for your mid-luteal phase. So this is that time about a week or so after ovulation where we start to see progesterone and estrogen are back on the rise. So it's our high hormone phase. With that, we see some changes in both metabolism and our performance indicators, things like a higher basal metabolic rate, which means our baseline functions require more calories to carry out. That means we have less in reserve. If we stay at the same nutrition level, we have less in reserve for exercise. So we benefit from a change in intensity to accommodate that higher basal metabolic rate. We also see our blood plasma volume decreases, which means our blood is slightly thicker. The heart is having to work harder with every pump to deliver oxygenated blood to your muscles. What does that mean? It means the exercises feel just that much incrementally more difficult. So our time to exhaustion is shorter and you might feel fatigued more quickly. Again, another invitation to shift to lower intensity practices. Doesn't mean that you have to just move through easy workouts during the entire luteal phase or during this high hormone territory, but it does mean that we can benefit from layering that cyclical intelligence that allows us to move in the way our body is optimized for. We are prone to fat burning during this phase, which is a slower metabolic pathway. Again, another reason why high intensity or that quick demand of energy might feel more challenging. So today we're in the endurance training mode, which means higher rep schemes, so higher rep volume and lower weight. In today's practice, we're using just a single dumbbell throughout the entire workout. You can have something in the medium to heavy range. I'm using a 20-pound dumbbell, which felt just about right. Maybe could have even gone slightly lighter to stay in that more low to moderate intensity. We're working the lower body in 3 supersets of both symmetrical and asymmetrical movement patterns, and we're incorporating more elements of flow. So we're bringing kind of fluid movement into the strength work to help us drop into that endurance training mode. We will transition between supersets with an isometric wall sit. So make sure that you're positioned near a wall. But other than that, all you need is a dumbbell, a nice comfortable space to work out, and a place where you can sit up against the wall. This is one of those workouts I just finished myself, and it just felt good. It felt like exactly what my luteal phase body needed. It wasn't too strenuous, but it still felt like it was enough work to tap the well of endorphins, to elevate and replenish energy so that I feel ready and on fire for the rest of my day. So I hope that it does the same for you. And let's get into our warm-up. Let's begin our practice today with a very quick warm-up just to get your lower body ready for our strength work. So we're going to improve circulation. We're going to generate a little bit of heat so that you're ready to pick up that weight for our endurance workout. I'll get our timer going here and we will begin in about 10 seconds with our warming movement. We're starting with a squat to a rotation. So take your feet a little bit wider than hips width, toes slightly out, heels slightly in, lift up through the heart and chest, and let's begin. We squat down and sweep to twist. So keep your palms pressing together and rotate as you come up. Make sure you're coming up on the toes of the opposite foot so that your knee is moving in the same direction as the foot. We squat down and rotate. Start to connect to the rhythm of your breath, generating that deep, full belly breath in and out through the nose where possible, or releasing heat with that exhale through the mouth. We're here for about 10 more seconds. Squat it down and rotate. Last 3, 2, and 1. We'll come to the top of the mat now. Hands to the inside of your front foot. Gentle rotation, open that same side arm up, and then we'll launch back, switch sides. So we rotate, open, twist the spine, and then send the feet back. Step it forward, rotate, and back. We're here for 40 seconds with each movement, just to give us enough time to warm up, to increase the heart rate, and just enough so that you're not kind of asking your body to start so quickly. You're easing into it, warming the engine nice and easy. Last one here. Now we'll step both feet up, slowly rise up. Good morning, hip hinge. Bring the hands behind the head, hinge at the hips, come down, drive through the heels to extend the hips back up. So here, we're bracing the belly. You feel the lower back is working but not strained. And we do that by lifting hip points and the low ribs together, stretching the crown of the head forward. So the spine from crown to tail moves as a unit. It lowers together and lifts together. You got this. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Now we'll start in the center of the mat with a round the world lunge. Let's start with the left leg. We step it forward, together, side lunge, together, and back, together. So you're making kind of this semicircle with the legs, forward, together, side lunge, together, and back. We step it forward. We're getting kind of all planes of motion here and back. These warming movements are something of a preview for what is coming up ahead in our strength work. You can take that extra bit of pause at the end of each lunge if you wish. And now we'll just turn to face the opposite direction. Same thing on the right side. We step it forward, together, to the side, together, and back. Around the world lunge. So just creating that nice, wide semicircle all the way around. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose where possible. Again, if you need to release heat, you're doing that through pursed lips, finding that strong exhale to help engage and integrate the core. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Let's come to center. Bend the knees. We'll come into a forward bend. So let your head and neck hang heavy. Keep your left hand planted and spin the right arm open. Bend deeply into the left knee, straighten the right leg. Feel this rotation and switch. Let that hand come down. Left arm extends. This time we're straightening the left leg, bending deeply into the right. Nice deep twist. Let's take one more each side. Rotate, twist. Bend deeply into the opposite knee so you feel that IT band lengthening. Last big breath here. And slowly, bone by bone, we roll up. We're coming into a sumo squat pulse next. Toes turn out, heels turn in. We're pulsing at the bottom so you feel the knees press out and out. You squeeze, feel that tiny magnetizing force to the center as you come up, like you're trying to drag your heels together. You're trying to create a ripple in the mat. Squeeze it up and pulse it down. You got this. Shoulders stay directly over the hips. This, again, is another preview of what is to come. We're using the body weight movements to warm us up, to prepare your legs and glutes, and then we'll get into the weight. Now we're coming into a step out squat. So we step out nice and wide, come through center, touch the toes with a hip hinge, back up and to the other side. Step out squat, hip hinge or deadlift, and to center. Again, another preview movement here that will be working with the resistance as we move into our workout. So take what you can from this warm up, what you can learn from each of the movement patterns, and you can carry with you once you pick up the weight. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out, step it out. Let's enjoy a huge breath together. Inhale through the nose and sigh it out. That is your very quick warm up for the lower body. And from here, we will grab a single dumbbell, medium to heavy load, and we'll get right into our workout. Let's get ready to jump into our strength work. Now, again, you're using just a single heavy, medium to heavy dumbbell. I've got a 20-pound dumbbell here. We are in the endurance zone. So that means lighter loads with more reps. So being that we're using just a single dumbbell, this one can be a little bit on the medium to heavy side for the lower body. We are working in the 20 rep range for most of our movement patterns. So it's a lot of reps, but we are in that lighter weight selection. So that puts us into endurance. You want to have enough enough reps in reserve at the end of each set. So it shouldn't be overly heavy that you're approaching high intensity. We want to stay in those moderate to low intensities for this entire workout. We have 3 supersets of work, and in between each one, we're enjoying an isometric wall sit. So be ready for that. Our first movement pattern is the goblet squat. So we have the dumbbell in the goblet hold, holding one end nice and close to your body, directly over the chest. Toes are turned slightly out. Let's make this one a narrow stance. So we're targeting more of the quads with this narrow goblet squat. We have 20 reps. Let's start them here. We take it down, squeeze the glutes at the top. That's 1. These can be a little bit quicker. We do have a lighter weight, so you can move appropriately for that load. Here's 6. Down and up. That's 7. Breathe out as you come up. There's 9 and 10. 10 more. Count them back. 10, 9. We've got 8. Breathe out as you come up. Here's 6. Last 5, 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Excellent job. You can set your weight down just for a moment, shake it out, brief recovery in between these exercises. We are staying in that lower intensity working zone, so we can get away with kind of just moderate recovery periods. We're not working our max effort or kind of our heavier lifts in this workout. So we're staying at that low intensity, steady state the whole time. Our next movement pattern is the good morning hip hinge. So we will take this load and place it on the meaty part of your upper back. Wrap the elbows in, the inner upper arm bones wrap in towards the face. We lift the hip points toward the low ribs, and we're simply folding the body in half at the hip creases without arching the back and without letting the hips shift too far back behind the heels. Let's begin. Again, 20 reps. Here we go. Take it down. Squeeze the glutes as you come up. Down and up. I want you to feel like the weight is shifting forward into the ball mounds of your feet, but you're still anchoring the heels into the mat. Here's 5. Breathe out as you come up. 6 with some power. So we load the spring and let it go. That's 7. Here's 8. Again, these can be quicker reps. 9 and 10. 10 more. Count them back. Fold the body in half. 10. Down and up. There's 9. Down and up. 8. Breathe in and out. 7. 6. Here we go. Last 5. Down and up. That's 4. 3 more. You got it. 3. Down and up. That's 2. And 1. Be mindful as you take that weight overhead. It is still pretty heavy after holding for that longer set of 20 reps. So shake out the arms if you need to. We'll come into our second of 3 sets of work here, grabbing the weight for that goblet squat. Again, we're in that narrow stance with the legs, targeting more of the quads. Lift up through the heart and chest. Make sure your low ribs are pulling in. And let's begin. 20 reps. Take it down and up. Breathe in and out. Find that rhythmic pattern in the breath. That's 3. Down and up. That's 4. So we're driving through the heels. Here's 6. We're squeezing inner thighs and outer glutes to the midline as you come up. That's 8. Here's 9 and 10. Count them back. That's 10. Lots of reps here, but it should be manageable with that lighter load. Here's 7. Down and up. 6. 5. Last 4. Let's get it. 4. 3. Breathe. 2. And 1. Excellent job. You can set the weight down if you need to. Shake it out. Quick recovery here. Breathing in and out through the nose. Again, you're looking for low to moderate intensity during the mid-luteal phase. So the high hormone phase, we want to stay in that slower metabolic pathway, the fat burning zone, which is the preference for our female metabolism in this phase. Let's grab that dumbbell, place it on the meaty part of your upper back. Feet are hip width distance apart and parallel. Lift the low ribs to the hip points, stretch up through the chest. So we're bracing the belly to support the low spine. Here we go, 20 reps. Take it down and up. So again, shifting the weight forward into the ball mounds of the feet so that you're not shifting the hips too far behind the heels. We want to watch out for straining the insertion point of the hamstring, so where that muscle connects to the pelvis. This is 6. We've got 7. Breathe out. Load the spring and power up. Here's 10. We've got 10 more. Count them back. 10. Here's 9. Stretch the crown of the head forward. 8. You got it. Spread the toes. 7. Here's 6. Last 5. Stay with me. Spine is straight and strong. 4. Here's 3. You got it. Your core is engaged. 2. This is bonus core work all the way through this workout. Here we go. A little press up to get that weight over. We are preparing for our third and final round of these 2 exercises, this quick superset. So get ready for goblet squats, 1 more round of good mornings, and then we're taking it to the wall for that weighted or unweighted wall sit. So grab your weight, come into the goblet hold, narrow stance with the feet. Let's take a big breath in and let's get 20 reps. Take it down nice and deep. So we've got this lighter load. You might explore a wider range of motion. Maybe you're coming below the knees if that's available for you in this practice. That's 5. Squeeze the inner thighs to the midline at the top. Feel the outer glutes engage. You get a little bit more from each rep. That's 9. Here's 10. 10 more. Count them back. 10. Breathe in. 9. Here we go. 8. 7. This is our last round of these. 6. Start to feel that accumulation of work in the legs. 4. Down and up. That's 3. 2. And 1. Set the weight down. We are at the end of our first superset of work with this round of good morning hip hinges. Remember, if the weight is too much, you can always go down to body weight only and be working the mind-muscle connection instead. You can go down in weights. You can be using 2 lighter weights if you don't have kind of the medium range. Lots of different options to make it work for you. Wrap the elbows and upper arm bones in towards the face. Feet are hips width distance and parallel. Let's lift up through the chest, curl the tail slightly under, and let's begin. 20 reps. Take it down and up. Load the spring and explode. Power up. Try not to thrust the hips too far forward, but they come to that neutral position where the hip points are level. That's 5. Down and up. Here's 6. So bracing the belly to protect the low spine. Your low spine will be working. Your lumbar spine will be activated. That's 8. Just because of the body position. Anytime you hip hinge, your posterior chain, the muscles that support your spine from top to bottom are going to be working. Let's count them back 10. But they shouldn't feel strained. So they're getting stronger, but we're not overexerting or overstretching the low spine. And we do that again by integrating the belly, drawing the low ribs in. That's 15. We've got 5 more. 5. Let's go. 4. Breathe out. 2. 3. This is 2. And last 1. Take it all the way up. Set that weight down for a moment. I'll get our timer started. We will have 10 seconds to get set up at the wall, and then we start our timer for 1 full minute of a wall sit. You can carry the dumbbell in your lap if you wish, or just go body weight only. It'll be challenging no matter how you slice it. So we'll get our timer started. We've got 10 seconds to set up. I'm going to take the weight with me. You want your hips level with your knees. Back is completely pressing into the wall, and our minute starts now. So I want you to spread the toes, root down through the heels, curl the tail slightly under so that your lower back is pressing into the mat, and then press your shoulders into the mat. Now we refine it a little bit. Hug the inner thighs, inner knees energetically to the center so they may not move, but it's like you're trying to get them together, almost like two same side ends of a magnet that are trying to push together, but there's that force keeping them at a distance. We're here for 30 more seconds. Breathe in and out through the nose. Focus on that isometric work. How can you change your mindset to stay present, to stay here for the challenge when it gets tough, to not let your mind wander, to keep it right here? Can you pay attention to different sensations you might be experiencing, different ways of loading? What happens when you push one heel versus the other? What happens when you curl your pubic bone up towards the navel? Last 2 and 1. Be mindful as you step out. We'll stop that timer and we'll get ready to move into our second set of work. So this next set of work is single-sided. We're working each leg independently, and it's just one exercise that incorporates 3 lunges. So we're coming back to that around the world lunge that we did in our warm-up. You can hold the dumbbell however it feels best for you. For me, I kind of like it in the horizontal position right at the chest. You can hold it in the opposite side of the leg that is working, so you could hold it down by your side. Whatever feels best and allows you to move safely through each lunge movement pattern. So again, we're moving forward into a lunge, side to a lunge, and back to a lunge. That's 1 rep. We have 10 of those total. So you'll be doing 30 lunges on each side for each round. As you're ready, let's start in the center of your mat. I'm going to start with the left leg moving first, and let's begin. We lunge it forward, 90-degree bends to the side, side lunge, and back together. That's 1. Forward. Keep your shoulders floating over the hips the entire time so your spine stays upright. It's not leaning forward or back. This is our 3rd rep here. Reverse lunge. Let's get 4. Together to the side. Keep your heart elevated and back. Coming up on 5. Together to the side. This one is going to be a high volume of lunges. We're working that asymmetrical, uneven loading so that we can work through any postural imbalances that you might be experiencing in the legs, in the hips, in the glutes. This work is so important for that postural balance. We're on 7 here and back. Start to move into that rhythm, that kind of moving meditation as you just follow the circle around. That was 8. We're coming up on 9. Breathing in through the nose where possible. Again, we want that lower intensity. So if you're feeling like you're gasping for air and rest, maybe swap the weights down to a lighter weight. You can slow your pace, or you can drop the weight altogether, move body weight only. So I'm approaching that threshold still, kind of able to keep control of the breath, not gasping, but if I were to move much faster, I would cross that threshold, and we want to stay below that high intensity for the luteal phase. Let's come into the second side now. So you'll turn to face the opposite direction. We'll move with the right leg first. Let's begin now. Take it forward, together, to the side, and to the back. You got it. 3-part lunge. Forward, side lunge, sit nice and low, to the center, and back. You got it. Here's 3. Breathe out as you press up. And to the center. Here's 4. Together, sit back into that chair and reverse lunge. Here's 5. Together, side lunge. Make sure you're getting enough depth in that side lunge. It can be easy to kind of shorten the range of motion, which if that's called for you, by all means go ahead. Otherwise, we're sitting nice and deep. Here's 6. To the side. You got it. And back. Let's go for 7. Keep your elbows nice and tight toward the center so we're not creating any strain in the upper body, just creating that nice shelf for that weight so that it can move with you. We're carrying this dumbbell with us through the entire workout. Here's 9. Last one coming up, that's 10. To the front, to the side, and reverse. Excellent work. You can set that weight down. We are through our first set. We have 2 more just like that. So it is that repetitive movement, but I hope that helps you drop into a moving meditation where you're not having to think so much about what's coming next. You just follow the rhythm of your legs and go with your breath. Go with that flow. So we're coming into round 2 of 3. Let's grab the weight, get it into position. Find that nice resting spot with the elbows and arms hugging in so that the weight is directly over the center line of your body. So it's directly over the axis of the spine. Let's get ready to move the left leg and begin. Forward, together, side lunge, and to the back. That's 1. Here's 2. Together. So you can take a little bit of the balance out if you want. More challenge. You're keeping that moving leg elevated as you come through center. That adds a little bit more stabilization effort for your static leg. And back. Here's 5. We got this. To the side. So again, maybe you're hovering that foot as it changes position. Here's 6. Together, to the side, and back. So you can just glide that foot right through center between each movement. This is 7. Let's get 8. Almost there on this side. Each rep a little bit longer since we're adding 3 lunges for every 1 rep. That's 9. Last one here. Step it forward, out to the side, and back. Excellent job. Let your weight come down for a moment. Shake out your legs, shake out your arms, and we'll come into the second half of our second set. After that, just 1 more set of these before we come into another 1-minute wall sit. This one is a low intensity workout, but a steady burn. So you will feel it all the way through. It's the beauty of the endurance work that we can enjoy during the high hormone phase. So you don't have to switch to just gentle movement. You can still find that challenge, but with the added cyclical intelligence that lets you move through your workouts without disrupting your physiology and your hormones. Let's go for the second side. Here we go. Step it forward. Together, out to the side, and back. That's 1. We've got 10 of these. Stepping forward. To the side, back together, and reverse. So again, find that rhythmic, fluid pattern, keeping the heart and chest elevated, shoulders floating over the hips the entire time. Here's 4. Back completes the rep. Let's get 5. Just halfway there in this set. Bring it together. Find your breath. So again, drop into that rhythm, almost like a dance, where you're stepping forward, out to the side, and back. That's 6. Here we go. Coming up on 7. Make sure in that side lunge that you're keeping the heart and chest elevated without overarching the low back, so the spine stays relatively neutral throughout the lunge movement pattern. Here we go. That was 9. Last one. Step it forward to the side and back. Set those weights down, that weight down for just a moment. Allow yourself to recover before we come into that third and final set of this lunge series, this lunge sequence. So we're switching from our symmetrical pattern in that first set where we were using both legs together. So it makes sense that this second set would feel a little bit more taxing because we're relying on one leg at a time to work, but we haven't changed the load. So being mindful of that, maybe changing your pace if you need to keep the intensity below that threshold. That is the beauty of the luteal phase. The more that you can do that, the more it pays dividends for your next period, your next cycle. So let's come to the center of the mat. Third and final set, starting with the left side. Here we go. Step it forward, together, out to the side and back. That's one. Bring it forward to center, out to the side, and step it back. You got it. This is 3. You can count them 3 times. 3 and 3. Coming up on 4. To the front, 4 to the side, and 4 to the back. So 90-degree bends doesn't have to be a huge step to the front, back, or side. It can be that smaller step, but with that deep range of motion. Here we go. That's 6. Step it forward, together, to the side, and together. Finish it out. We've got 8. 8 and 8. Sometimes it helps to count each rep or each lunge individually so that you don't lose count. This is 9. Last rep here. Forward, together, to the side, together, and back. Excellent job. Set that weight down. We have just one more set of those as we come into the second side. And we will move right into our wall sit next. So be ready, just kind of preparing for that transition at the end of this next set. So grab your weight, bring it into position, mindfully, carefully, paying just as much attention to the in-between as we do to the movement itself. Let's get 10 reps now on the right side. Step it forward, together, to the side, and back. Again, if you want to hover the foot so you're not stepping down with that moving foot, except in the lunge position. This is 3. So maybe it hovers through the center so you've got a little bit of balance challenge for that static leg. Here's 4. Together and back. So just letting that leg sweep past as it changes position. Here's 5. Together. 6. To the side. We got this. Heart and chest elevated. Here's 7. Takes out some of the hard edges if you let that leg just fluidly move past. Here's 8. To the side and back. Here's 9. Finish strong. You're almost done with this high volume lunge series. And 10. Last rep. Here we go. To the side and back. Excellent, excellent work. Let's set that weight down for a moment. Roll out your shoulders. Maybe give the spine a little bit of a twist. Stretching out however you need to for a few more seconds here of recovery. And then we'll come into our second round of the weighted or unweighted wall sit. So start to make your way toward the wall. I'll be keeping time for you. We'll have about 10 seconds to get set up once I get our timer started. Now, so we're moving to the wall, sitting down, 90-degree bend in the knees. Knees are directly over the ankles. If you have that weight, it's close to the hips. If you put it closer to the knees, it'll be a little more challenging. Our minute has started. So again, what can you pay attention to? How can you anchor your awareness, your attention into the present moment through the sensation that you're experiencing in your body? It's that marriage of attention and sensation that brings us into an embodiment practice. It keeps you in your body. It allows your mind to stay participating and interested, enthusiastic in the process, as opposed to being distracted or trying to flee the scene when things get tough. So we're here for about 20 more seconds. Curl the tail slightly under, press your back into the wall. See if you can kind of refine your alignment, hug the energy of the legs to the midline, spread the toes. Where can you relax? Any areas that need not release that energy? Last 2 and 1. Excellent job. I'll stop that timer, and we are getting ready for our third and final superset of work. So this one, we start with a sumo squat pulse. So it's just like we did in the warm-up. We're pulsing for 20 reps. And then we're coming into a step out squat. So you'll step out with the weight, come back to center, and deadlift. So you bring that weight to about mid-shin, come back up to center. So it's that hip hinge key action paired with the squat. So this is a good one when we pair them back to back to feel the difference between these two key actions, between the hip hinge and the squat. When you're ready, grab your weight. I like to have it in the goblet position, and just lower down right between the center of the legs, so the center of the heels. Heels are turned in, toes are turned out. Let's get 20 pulsing sumo squats. Here we go. Take it down. These will be quick. 2, 3, keep the knees pressing out. 5, 6, 7, make sure you can see your big toes as you gaze down the inseam of your leg. That's 10. Count them back. 10, 9, 8, keep your spine upright. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job. You should start to feel the inner thighs talking to you here. These are kind of accessory movements in that sumo squat, smaller muscle groups in the inner thighs. Now we'll take the weight. I like to hold the weight in the horizontal position for this movement pattern, right down with arms extended. We'll start with the feet together. Each squat that we step out is 1 rep with that deadlift in between. Let's get 20 reps of this movement pattern. Here we go. Step it out, come to center, and deadlift. That's 1. So you can count your rep with every deadlift. That's 2. Step it out. Keep the spine nice, straight, and strong. That's 3. Here we go. Step it out. And together, you should feel the inner thighs working as you zip the legs together. That's 5. Out and together. Keep the feet parallel, where possible. That's 7. Deadlift and back up. Remember, the spine moves down as a unit all together and up as a unit all together. Here's 9. Deadlift and up. We've got 10. Step it out and to center. So make sure that you're not overarching any of the spinal curves, but they all stay neutral. So you have that moderate curve in the lumbar spine and that spacious quality in the upper back or the thoracic spine. That's 14. Deadlift back to center. Here's 15, almost there with this first set. And 16, step it out and together. You got this. Nice and wide. Bring that weight down and deadlift. Find your breath, that rhythm. Last 2 here, step it out. Keep the spine nice and tall. Chest is expanding, so you have that full access to your breath. Last one here. Excellent job. Set that weight down. First set just like that. Underway. We've got 2 more, a final wall sit, and we will be on our way to the cool down. So collect your breath. Big inhale through the nose and a slow exhale through the mouth if needed. Let's take the feet nice and wide. Toes are out, heels are in. Grab that weight. So you should have your breath more or less back to the baseline before we begin each new exercise. Let's get 20 reps pulsing here. 1, 2, knees go out. 3, 4, 5, keep it low. So it's that tiny pulse. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Count them back. 10. Shoulders stay upright. 8, 7. Get low. 6, 5. Lower still. 4, 3, 2. Press through the heels. And 1. Excellent job. Set that weight down. You should feel a little bit of that residual sensation in the inner thighs, maybe the outer glutes a little bit, creating that strong energy to the center. So we'll grab our weight in the horizontal position next. Taking deep breaths to recover in between exercises. And then we have 20 reps starting with that step out squat. Here we go, step it out. And then we transition to the hip hinge. So really feel the difference between the squat, which is sitting back and down, and the hip hinge, which is bowing forward. That's 2. Here's 3. So really articulate the difference in those 2 key actions. Where do you feel the difference? How can you kind of tune into the loading pattern a little bit differently so that you get more from every rep? That's 6. Down and up, squat it out. 7, and here's 8 to center. Deadlift and up. We are coming into the end of our second set, and then we just have one more set of work before our wall sit. Here's 11. Count with me. Deadlift and up. Make sure your shoulders stay relaxed away from the ears. Shoulder blades are pressing onto the back to support that hip hinge. That's 13. Down and up. Here's 14. You got it. Just a few more reps here, and we will be into our third set. We have 4 more. Count them back. 4 together. Down and up. Here's 3. Come through that deadlift. Center and up. Last 2. Feel the inner thighs really working here. And last 1. Finish it all the way out. Deadlift to stand. Excellent job. Set your weight down. Shake out your legs and get that big deep breath. In through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. You can shake out the spine, release any areas where you feel residual tension after holding that weight in position for the full set. And we will begin our third and final round of work. So feet are nice and wide, toes out, heels in. Let's grab that weight. Pulsing sumo lunge, 20 reps. Here we go. Take it down as low as you can. 2, 3, press the knees out. 4, make sure you can see your big toes. 7, 8, 9, these are quick, and 10, but they're intense. 11, 12, 13, stay low. How low can you go? 15, 16, feel the inner thighs squeeze to the center like you're hugging your heels. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Excellent, excellent work. Set that weight down. We have one more working set here before we finish out with our weighted wall sit or unweighted, depending on your preference. So big arm circles, stretch it out, shake it out, and let's grab that weight. Let's finish this final set nice and strong. Keep that steady pace where you're not crossing into high intensity, but you still feel the work. Let's begin now. We step it out through center, deadlift, that's 1. So again, we're partnering these 2 movements. So our reps are slightly longer. We're getting more volume with each set. That's 3. Step it out and together. Here's 4. Make sure your spine is nice and long, like you're stretching to articulate bone by bone as you fold the body in half. That's 6. Here's 7. Step it out. Together and fold. That's 8. Together, deadlift. Keep that magnetizing force between hip points and low ribs. Coming up, here's 10. We're halfway there. Let's count them back from 10. Here's 10. Deadlift and up. Here's 9. Together, you should start to feel that work in the inner thighs. Here's 8. Deadlift and to center. 7. Count them with me. Find that rhythm. It's just like our around the world lunge. Just follow the pattern of your legs as they move through. That's 5. Last 4. Let's stay strong. Keep the spine upright. Forward and up. Here's 3. Together, deadlift, and up. Last 2. Stay strong till the end. We got this. Last 1. Together, finish it all the way out. Excellent, excellent work. That is the end of that superset. We have 1 more minute of a wall sit coming up next. So grab your weight if you're using it. We'll get ready to move into position. I will start our timer here. We have 10 seconds to get set up. So drop the hips to the alignment with the knees or slightly above. And our minute begins now. So we curl the tail under. We press the spine into the wall. Spread your toes so that you feel all 4 corners of both feet rooting down into the mat. So you have that equal and opposite action reverberating back up through the legs. Hug the energy of the inseam to the midline so you feel that magnetizing force. You might even notice the legs start to tremble a little bit when you activate and engage in that deeper way. We're here, halfway there, 30 more seconds. Can you breathe? In through the nose, out through the mouth. We got this. Curl the tail under. Feel that shake. Your muscles are excited. They are here. You are present. You are putting in the work. Last 10 seconds. You can do anything for 10 more seconds. We got this. Breathe in and out. 3, 2, and 1. Be careful as you come out of that position. We'll stop that timer, set your weight down, and we'll shake it out. So that last wall sit should help your breath come back down to the baseline. If you still need a little bit of dynamic movement, you can take it here. Otherwise, we're going to move right into our cool down mode now. You have just finished your endurance strength session for the lower body, and now it is time to cool down. I'll get our timer started. Let's take the feet nice and wide apart. You can turn your toes slightly in, heels slightly out, so that the outer edges of your feet are parallel. Let's take a big breath in. And as you exhale, fold over the legs. So nice wide forward bend here. We've got the outer edges of the feet pressing in, spread the toes, shift the weight forward into the ball mounds of your feet so that your hips are aligned with your ankles. And then we twist. So right hand stays down, left arm twists open. See if you can square the hips, level the pelvis, and work into the thoracic spine, the back of the heart. Let's switch sides now. Bring that left hand down, right arm twists open. Again, feel the alignment in the pelvis. Can you level the hip bones and rotate into the back of the heart? Maybe send your gaze skyward. Let that hand slowly come down. We'll transition to turn over the right foot. Let your back knee come down, rocking lizard lunge. So we slide it back, straighten that leg, bow in, and then come forward, extend the spine, lift the heart and chest. So feel the waves of breath here as you roll forward and back. So it's a release not only for the hip, but also for the spine. So we feel that cat-cow type fluid movement as we move through forward and back. Breathing in and out. Excellent work. Last few seconds here, and then we'll transition sides. So we'll take the right knee back, left foot steps forward. Again, catch the wave of your breath. So we roll it back and forward. Let the head come up last. So feel that ripple effect of the spine as you're working deeper sensation into the hip and hamstring. That was a lot of endurance work. Even with the lighter weight, you'll feel this in your working muscles. So again, connect to that waving rhythm of your breath in and out through the nose where possible now to promote that recovery state, to lower the heart rate and come into this more relaxed state. So we're going to come into a seated position now. Cross your left ankle over right knee for seated pigeon. Bring your fingertips behind you. Lift the heart, belly, chest toward that top shin. You can dial your left shin out, flex the foot, and like you're trying to marry the thighs to the belly. So we create that sensation in the outer hip by hugging those 2 points in space together. You might find a gentle rocking side to side. Might feel good. Sometimes the static stretches just need that little bit of pulsation to help energy circulate. Last second here. And then we'll extend that right leg long, cross your left knee directly over top. So you're really hugging the energy of the inner thighs together. Flex your right foot, walk your hands any amount forward. So it shouldn't take a lot to really start to feel the sensation. And you'll feel the sensation where you need it most. So if your hip is really tight, your upper hip, you might feel that first. For me, I feel it all in the IT band of that lower leg. So it's interesting the story that your body tells through the sensation that you experience, where you might need a little more attention, a little more love. Last big breath here. And then we'll come through center. We'll transition through cobbler pose. So the soles of the feet come together. You can press your knees out with the hands or even wrap peace fingers around your big toes. We'll lift up through the heart and chest, feel a little bit of extension in the spine, and then any amount fold forward. I like to take my elbows and press the calves, shins, inner thighs down. So we're getting that nice space across the groin, the base of the pelvis. You can even curl your head in a little bit if that feels good. Get the benefit of the forward fold, which calms the central nervous system. It helps bring the parasympathetic system online, our rest and digest, and switch. So now we'll cross right ankle over left knee for seated pigeon. Come up onto the finger pads, hug your elbows in behind you, and again, straighten the arms to marry heart, belly, chest to that front thigh. Beware though of hunching in the shoulders. We want to stay nice and relaxed. If you need to come down onto palms, that's fine too. And again, here you might just find that gentle rocking side to side to be very soothing for the outer hip. Start to notice your breath and the quality of your thoughts, everything kind of slowing down, coming back to a baseline, giving ourselves lots of transition time. Let's extend the left leg long, stack your right knee on top. Come onto the very top of your sitting bones, lift up through the spine, hug the inner thighs together, and then walk it out. So notice the difference where you might feel sensation a little bit differently on this side. For me, now I feel it in the calf. So that's telling me maybe that this side is a little bit different. It's how we load the body, just even a fraction of an inch differently from one side to the other. That's where our asymmetrical work comes in so handy to balance those asymmetries out. Last 3, 2, and 1. Let's extend both legs long now. Again, spread the flesh of the glutes out so that you're on the tips of your sitting bones. Reach the arms overhead so we get the shoulders directly over the hips, and then any amount fold forward. If you need to bend the knees generously, please do that. So just offering this expression of turning inward, of self-love here in the forward bend. We sort of expose the backside of the body, which in yoga traditions represents the past or the west, the place where the sun sets. So we release anything that is no longer serving us here and slowly come up. Let's cross at the ankles to slowly transition from the seated position up to standing. So nice deep forward bend. Bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale. And then come all the way up. Let's enjoy a huge breath together. Inhale. And exhale, sigh it out. That completes your lower body workout for today. It has been such a joy to move with you. I am so glad you're here. Thank you for sweating with me and for letting your body be moved.